And welcome to another Thursday night. This week it is Waggoner Webcast Light, but as I always like to say, you're going to get your money's worth no matter when you tune in, whichever Thursday night it may be. And I have to tell you, about an hour ago, I thought I might be the captain of this ship all by myself flying solo because I wasn't sure if Mark was going to be able to join us, if he'd have a link. And Leonard and Lorena, same thing. It was touch and go, but here you are. It's good to see everybody with us here on this Thursday night. Mark, tell us where you're at.
Well, I'm in beautiful, sunny Skagway, Alaska. And you wouldn't believe how we're getting sunburn here. It was 85 degrees up here last week, and this week it's just blazing sun. The sun is reflecting off of the snow-capped mountains around us. It's absolutely beautiful and warm. We left this morning at 5 a.m. from Juneau and did a straight shot right up to Skagway. So we're at Skagway. The flotilla has ended. We're now on our private trip with the Ryan family, who are the owners of CMR. And we're going to be here for 2 days and then on to Haines, Alaska, and then on to a few other places. It's just phenomenal.
Boy, the weather looks spectacular. Leonard and Lorena, where do we find you this evening?
We are anchored in Drew Harbor near Rebecca Spit in the Discovery Islands region. And the weather here is nice as well. Not as warm as what is up in Alaska right now, but blue sky and sunshine today.
But we did have some rain. The boat got washed the other day, so naturally we had a bit of rain then, but it is a little nicer now. So.
Oh, you escaped the weather in the Seattle area. Another storm coming in for this weekend. So good for you guys. Well, Mark, I know you don't have pictures to share yet. I think we'll get those maybe next week or next couple weeks, but give us a wrap up on the flotilla. Sounds like things really went well.
Well, it really did. Half of the group split off in Ketchikan and they started to go on their own trips. And I'm happy to report Rob and Kim on Incognito sent back pictures of their trip over to Haida Gwaii. And in particular, they showed just flat water, no waves at all, which is exactly the way you want to have it and doesn't always happen like that in Hecate Strait. So this morning we passed one of our other boats, Emma Christine, and they were already done at Skagway and headed back down into other parts of Southeast Alaska. So our flotilla people have scattered about. They're all having fun so far as we can tell. And we plan on bumping into more of them as we go through the summer.
And speaking of summer, what's ahead? I know you're always busy. What's coming up the next, say, month or so?
Well, we're going to be headed towards Hoonah and then eventually to Glacier Bay, and then to begin to work our way south. So it's going to be a pretty busy summer, and then we'll work our way through northern British Columbia, one of my favorites, and down towards the Broughtons and the Gulf Islands.
That'll be fun. Leonard and Lorena, I know you're out there, and this is part fun, it's part research, it's part work, if you want to call it that. I know you enjoy what you do. Tell us where you're at, where you're headed from here, and I know you've got an update with some photos to share as well.
We do. We're making our way north, so we actually might cross paths with Mark and made several stops, and we do have some updates to share, and we'll pull up some photos here in just a moment.
Yeah.
Starting.
Yeah, one second. There we go.
There we go. Starting with Fair Winds Marina, we stopped there. It's located in the Strait of Georgia. And they completed their new building, which you can see in this photo. It's absolutely gorgeous, very modern inside. The upper floor houses a modern cafe, bar area, lounge areas, and a coffee shop. And it has great views over the marina in the Strait of Georgia, as you can see here. The lower floor houses the new marina office and restrooms, showers, and laundry. And by the way, the showers and laundry are complimentary with your moorage, so you don't need coins to operate either one.
And to repeat that, that's amazing. The complimentary showers and laundry in this place, and it's gorgeous. The whole place is brand new.
They also have bicycles to rent, including electric bikes. And so you can take those bikes up the top of the hill there, and you can walk or bicycle the trails that surround several lakes. It's a very nice area.
The operative word there is it's uphill to get to the trails. So we've been up there to the golf course, which you see on this map as well. And it's a bit of a puff getting up there walking, and it's going to be a bit of a puff with the with bicycles. But once you get there, there's some excellent trails up there.
And the marina, they still do want proof of liability insurance, which is the case in a growing number of marinas in British Columbia. So be prepared with your with your paperwork. Our next stop was Comox, and it has transitioned from a retirement community to young families. We saw lots of young families and children, as you can see here, playing in the water park, with picnics and food trucks, and families having a lot of fun. There's also a new brewery in town called the Church Street Tap House. It was filled with young people, and it's located right next to Church Street Bakery, another of our favorite bakery stops. Then we took the dinghy up Courtney River and went over the Comox mud flats, and about 2 or 3 feet of water is all. Once we got to the river, it was 10 feet and plenty of depth. The Comox Harbor Authority has a dock there towards the end near the town of Courtney where you can tie up, but there is a gate and it's locked, so you want to be sure and get the key from the Comox Harbor Authority before you head up there so you can get back in again. Right across the way is a park dock. It's not secured, but you can tie up there as well. And it's an easy walk into the town of Courtney. On another day in Comox, we took the boat over to Sandy Island and anchored out and took the dinghy ashore and walked the beautiful beach and trails. The anchorage is somewhat exposed, but the holding is very good in sticky mud. And you can hike the beach or the trail that goes across the island to the other side. Another favorite site at Comox is the Hillberg Lodge and Gardens. Robert Hillberg made his money in the logging industry. He was president of the Comox Logging and Canadian Western. And the grounds are expansive and beautiful. As you can see here, you can see the anchorage area in the distance there. And in the summers, they have a summer kitchen with outdoor seating. It's open Thursday, 11:30 to 5 p.m. and Friday through Sunday, 11:30 to 7 p.m. And you can email or call for reservations. Just email summerkitchen@hillberg.com. And it's really a lovely spot. Our next stop, we went up to the Discovery Islands and made a stop at Taku. And they are redoing all of their docks and a new configuration, and they're in the process of building new docks. So no power or no water right now. They can accommodate smaller boats for guest moorage, runabout size boats, or about 30 plus feet size boats, but they are in the middle of construction. They anticipate to have everything completed by spring in 2023. So that's something to look forward to. And they're actually right across from Rebecca's Spit. Just around the corner is the Harriet Bay Inn and Marina. They have limited moorage. You can see they're about 47 feet on the outside pier. Call ahead for space. It does fill up quickly, but they'll try and accommodate you. They're currently limited on power due to tenant usage, full-time tenants. And this is beautiful Rebecca's Spit. We're anchored here right now. This is a view of one of the boats anchored in Drew Bay or Drew Harbor. It's a lovely spot. Again, walk some sandy beaches and enjoy the views. The Spit is backed by beautiful mountains. It's really a lovely spot. And we had great weather the last couple of days.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, Leonard, do you have any other updates too, while I've got you here?
We've got a couple things to run through. One of them was just a note that something that this past week was some of the most extraordinary low tides that we've seen in over a decade. In the last 13 years ago since we've seen these low tides, a result of some, as they say, a wobble in the moon's orbit. I have no idea how they get a wobble in the orbit. It sounds like something that's broken on it, but it has something to do with that, and it has to do with the cycle, the very lengthy cycle that the tides go through here. So we had very, very low, went down to a minus 4.28 feet, and that happened on Wednesday this week. That was, by the way, was the day that we were going to leave Comox and head out across the Comox Bar, which is a little bit shallow. And with a negative tide, we were hitting it. We were going to be hitting it on a falling tide, just about the time that we'd hit go down to a negative tide. And we're complicated by we're having problems with our depth sounder. It isn't working correctly. And so the question here is go or no go. You're faced with a falling tide. The depth sounder isn't working all that well. There should be enough water. Would you go or no go? And be interested to hear what the chat has to say about that. But share that we're still here, so we obviously chose correctly at that point. So this is Whidbey Island, and the Whidbey Island wharf. They had some damage on that from a storm back in November, and they're doing some repair work on that, repairing some of that facility, but they're still open right now. They're open for moorage, and they also have live music there on Wednesday evenings. So that's on Whidbey Island. If you haven't been there before, it's a very small dock. It's very shallow on the inside of the dock. So if you're going and you have a sailboat or a deep draft, you want to make sure you check the tides on that one. And this one is out of Canada, and the National Marine Manufacturers Association has been working to basically there's a luxury tax that Canada is considering, and they're working on pushing it through their legislature and their bodies of government. And it still has not been put into place. It has a scheduled or a planned time to implement in September of this year. It would apply to luxury vehicles, and that includes boats, aircraft, and automobiles, which we conjecture might be RVs as well, with a value of $250,000 or more. Don't know what the tax amount is, but the issue has to do with the disproportionality against boats or to boats. Apparently, there's some modification to the bill that would allow aircraft to a delayed implementation for aircraft, but there's no mention of anything for boats. So in Canada right now, people are watching that carefully. There's a prediction that luxury tax goes through, it would have a severe impact to the boating industry up there, and it would be on new boats, as far as we know at this point. But there's a lot to be determined, but it's apparently working its way through legislation.
And we have some news from Alaska, a couple of things. If you're following the Race to Alaska, they left Victoria Inner Harbor today at noon, and you can follow them on through their GPS trackers, the website, 2ak2022.mapprogress.com, and that's in the. And we've heard from one of our field correspondents at Ketchikan, you might know this, Mark, and in Alaska, they're limiting one-night stays now at Ketchikan, perhaps because of the busy season, but one night at Ketchikan is our understanding. And then Fury Cove, we have heard that you can anchor there now, but you're not allowed to go ashore or do any crabbing.
And that's, so officially, Fury Cove is still closed. But again, that report that we have from our field correspondent is that there are some people that were anchoring there, and that there have been AIS targets or boats in Fury Cove. And the second-hand, third-hand story we get is that the tribal population there is just asking people not go shell fishing or fishing and not go on shore. We understood that the reason they wanted that for, to avoid contamination of the shellfish and their subsistence collection of shellfish on there. So all of that sounds about right. But again, officially, it's still closed. And as long as I have so I did get, so somebody did answer on the chat, and they said a no-go on the Comox bar, and that was our decision. We said, now, just if it were a rising tide, I might have a different decision, but on a falling tide, it just didn't seem like the right decision. And then there was a question in the chat about Fairwinds Marina. The Fairwinds is just north of Nanaimo, and it's on the Strait of Georgia. It's on the Vancouver Island side of Strait of Georgia, just above that, kind of where the control center is for the Whiskey Gulf area. And it's a very small bite in there. It's a very nice little marina, and it's in a place called Schooner Cove. So take a look at that. It's just north of Nanoose Harbor, if you look at that on your charts as well.
Great
golf course there also.
Yeah, yes. And the golf course, if you give them a call, they'll come down, pick you up, take you to the course if you're a golfer.
And by the way, I have, there's I think it's the Schooner Cove Yacht Club, and they do reciprocal as well. And the reciprocal is the same space as the guest moorage. So if you have reciprocal, or if you're a member of the yacht club, let them know at Fairwinds, and you might get yourself a heck of a deal there.
That's great. Well, as we all know, in 2 weeks, one of the most special celebrations every year, July 1st, one of the biggest days of the year, because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
It happens to be
No, Brian, it's Canada Day.
Oh,
Canada Day.
Also Canada's birthday. That's right, Mark. You're right. So lots of celebrations that day, all across Canada and in America as well. Lorena, what's going on July 1st in Canada?
Oh, we will be thinking of you too, Brian. The Canada Day, of course, commemorates when the 4 provinces were combined: Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, and they became a single dominion under the British Empire. And then later in 1982, Canada became fully independent, and they have lots of celebrations going on that are accessible by boaters. Campbell River, they have a parade that begins at 4 p.m. Powell River, they have musical and theatrical celebrations on stage at the Rotary Pavilion, games and activities, and they'll have fireworks from a barge offshore. And Saturna Island Lamb Barbecue, that's a very popular event for boaters. We've done this before, would love to do it again. Boaters anchor out in Winter Cove, and then a skiff will come out and pick you up, take you to shore where you can buy your ticket. And the barbecue event runs from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And the lamb meal with all the fixins is served between 1:30 and 2:30 in the order of your ticket number. So it's lots of fun. The lamb is staked out all around open pits. So there's several fire pits, and the lamb is all staked out like you would for salmon. And it cooks for many hours, slowly for many hours, starting at 4 in the morning. It's a fabulous event.
It is quite an event. It's quite a spectacle in the anchorage in Winter Cove. The place is just filled with boats anchored out there, and it is an event. If you have an opportunity to be there, I highly recommend that.
The adorable village of Steveston, they have a number of festival zones spread throughout their village for July 1st. And actually the events, they're running them from June 25th through July 1st, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They have a number of different shows, art show, car show, and fun zones, a Japanese cultural show, and many others. And they have live music throughout the village. Sounds like lots of fun. And then Sydney on Vancouver Island, they have opening ceremonies and live music at 7:30 p.m. on June 30, followed by fireworks. So their fireworks are on June 30. And then on July 1st, they start out with a pancake breakfast and a nice parade and some family fun fair. They also have what they call the Slag Build a Boat. And so you can get materials from Slag Building Materials Company and launch your boat once you've completed it at Beacon Park. Sounds like lots of fun. Surrey, BC, they have a lineup of concerts, amusement rides, and food trucks and kids zone and fireworks in the evenings. They also have an Indigenous village hosting various educational programs. Sounds very interesting. And Vancouver, BC, likewise, they have collaboratively planned their events with the First Nations. And most of the events, or all of the events, will be outdoors, including, let's see, Canada Place, Jack Pool Plaza, Harbor Green Park, and all around the city street. There won't be any indoor programs at Canada Place. Everything's outdoor this year. And Victoria, they have a multicultural street festival in downtown beginning at noon. They have music at the main stage at Chip Point beginning at 4 p.m. and that's followed by fireworks in the evening. And then White Rock, just across the border, they have lots of family activities, live performances that start at noon along the Memorial Park Plaza. So lots of options there for celebration. Brian, I think you're muted.
There we go. All right. I was going to say thank you for putting all that together because, I mean, it's quite a list and there's a lot of fun stuff happening that day. So south of the border in America, obviously not to be outdone on the 4th of July, a lot going on the US of A side as well, right?
That's right. We're celebrating 246th birthday. I won't ask you what birthday you're celebrating, Brian, but I don't think it's 246 years.
Not 200 years behind that, yeah.
Starting with Anacortes, they have a community parade and fireworks at Seafarers Memorial Park. Bainbridge has a street dance on Sunday, July 3rd, and then on July 4th, they have a pancake breakfast and a beer garden, live entertainment, pony rides, a car show, but they're not having fireworks. So no fireworks this year on Bainbridge. Bellevue, they have live music, children's areas, food trucks. They are having fireworks synchronized to music, which starts around 10 p.m. And then Bellingham, they have live music, kids zones, downtown waterfront area. They will have fireworks beginning around 10:30 p.m. over Squalicum Harbor. And Blaine, they'll have an old fashioned car show from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and a street fair at 10 a.m. Music at 3 different stages and the fireworks display begins around 10:15. Also, they have a pancake breakfast and a children's parade followed by the grand parade. And they also have a car show, but no fireworks this year. So Bothel's not planning fireworks. Des Moines, they have a weekend of music, food trucks, beer garden at the harbor master's office there at the Marina. And due to the construction going on at the Marina now, there'll be no parking available in the north parking lot. And the Marina floor is limited to about 3,000 attendees. They are having fireworks display at dusk. Edmonds, they have several races, the 5K race and the baby bracket 1K race, they call it. A children's parade followed by the main parade and no fireworks at Civic Field since the field is still under construction. But they are having fireworks on July 3rd at nearby Lake Ballinger, and they do have a public viewing area over Lake Ballinger.
And Everett on Thunder Bay, there's going to be live music at Legion Park, food trucks, beer garden, activities for the kids, and no parking. I'm looking for the fireworks. I don't see any there, so I don't know that there's fireworks there. Friday Harbor, Rock the Dock on April 4th, and that's July. There'll be a parade down Spring Street at about 10:30, followed by a picnic and live music at San Juan Historical Museum grounds. Fireworks begin around 10 p.m. on the 4th from a barge in the harbor. Kingston, town parade runs from noon until about 1 p.m. That's down Main Street, and music begins at about 5 p.m., followed by fireworks. That's in Kingston. Kirkland, 4th of July celebrations. Those are going to be kids decorating event, kids parades, and 11:30, followed by a main parade at noon. There's no fireworks in Kirkland. Port Orchard, live entertainment throughout the day at Port Orchard waterfront, followed by fireworks at 10 p.m. No scheduled parade. Paulsbo, no fireworks, and there is celebration on July 3rd. As in the past, the Viking Fest Corporation is focusing their efforts in putting on normal Viking Fest held on the normal Viking Fest held in May.
So they opted not to do fireworks. The Viking Fest wanted to focus their efforts on the Viking Fest that's held each year in May. And they are in discussions of what they might have planned for next year as far as the 4th of July is concerned.
At Roche Harbor, there's fireworks beginning at 10:30 p.m. There are kids games on the lawn. There's donut eating contest. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Blindfolded dinghy race, a log rolling event. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. And a 5K run, as well as they ask you to anchor at least 300 feet from the fireworks barge, and make your moorage reservations. So they apparently are taking reservations now, right?
Yes.
And then the Seattle Seafair Summer 4th at Gasworks Park starts at 3 p.m. and runs to 11 p.m. Food, entertainment, kids, and activities. Fireworks begin at 10:20 p.m. with viewing from the Gasworks Park, and I assume also in the anchored in Lake Union, right?
Right.
And Tacoma Summer Blast is live music, food trucks, and craft market at Dune Peninsula in Ruston, starting at 11 a.m. Fireworks begin around 10 p.m.
And we should say that there are fireworks at Everett, but there's no parking available at the Legion Memorial Park on July 4th, but you can use Everett Transit will be providing a free shuttle service from Everett Community College to the Marina starting at 3 p.m.
Great stuff.
And the biggest event on 4th of July always is our wedding anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. We had to get that in too. Happy anniversary in advance.
Wow.
We won't say how many years.
Well, we always get fireworks celebrating the day.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. And Mark, I want to bring you back in. Obviously, it's never a good idea to tie up on the fireworks barge, is it?
No, not recommended. They sometimes misfire and they'll make a mess of your boat.
Boy, will it. Yeah, well, it's good to see all these celebrations coming back. And again, I appreciate Leonard and Lorena, all the work you put into providing us with all those details. It's going to be a good time of the year here coming up the next couple of weeks. Hopefully the weather cooperates across the Pacific Northwest. It has been obviously very cool and wet. I know everybody's pretty tired of it. So hopefully we'll get some better weather here the next couple of weeks, and looking forward to that. And Mark, you've already given us your updates. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, just everybody have a great time for 4th of July. I'm going to be coming back to Seattle on that day and looking forward to being in the Puget Sound area for a change.
Great. Leonard and Lorena, how about you?
We'll be continuing north, stopping at many places, gathering more updates, and happy to share those with you in the next program.
Yeah, one of our, the Broughtons is on our list to do some thorough investigation up there and research, and then possibly a little bit further north after that as well.
Great. Well, have a safe trip up there, you too, Mark. And quick preview, next week we'll have Keeping Puget Sound Waters Pristine. Our guests are Aaron Barnett, Bridget Trosen, Marianne Waggoner, and the Washington Sea Grant. So great show lined up for you next week as well as we count down to the holidays here. And it'll be our first official show of summer in 2022 next Thursday. So hope you can join us for a full episode of Waggoner Webcast Live. Same time, same place, right here next Thursday evening. We'll see you then. Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
Safe
Good night, everybody.